Okay, everyone, AMKS, Scottish Radio, welcome to the station where truth matters. It's all done by me, Anne Marie Stanley, AMKS, Scottish Radio. Saying what you think, too afraid to say, Grow Hard America. Here we are.
Type 1 civilization has the power of an entire planet. They control the weather. They mine the oceans. They control volcanoes. They control earthquakes. We are now witnessing the greatest transition in the history of the human race. Transition from type 0 to type 1. The generation now alive is privileged to see the birth pangs of the birth of a new civilization.
And Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez has once again accused the United States of playing God. But this time it's Haiti's disastrous earthquake that he thinks the U.S. was behind. Spanish newspaper ABC quotes Chavez as saying that the U.S. Navy launched a weapon capable of inducing a powerful earthquake off the shore of Haiti. He adds that this time it was only a drill, and the final target is destroying and taking over Iran. The existence of a tectonic weapon has never been proved, but its use is often suspected.
Last year, I confronted
Alice is like the
Eizo
underground
Takanaka,
telescope, aimed.
the former Japanese finance minister, over why he handed over control of the Japanese financial system to a group of American and European oligarchs. He and his envoy told me that it was because Japan had been threatened by an earthquake machine. I did not believe it at the time. However, when I started exposing some of their doings, I was told by the Japanese security police that because of what I had said on places like Rense.com, that Niigata City was going to be hit
Powerful
by an
earthquake
earthquake.
strikes.
2 days later, Japan's largest nuclear reactor was the exact epicenter of two earthquakes, both 6.8 in magnitude. Japan just had a very, very friendly summit meeting with China where the emperor met the Chinese leader 3 times.
There is a possibility a part of Japan will sink. It will not be an accident. It will be created by the world government.
Tonight, breaking news, Japan's tsunami disaster. A huge quake triggers chaos as people flee swaying buildings and city fires.
Japan is smashed, dude. Smashed. Machines that shouldn't exist, guys. Are we playing God? Do you think we're playing God?
That is too much of a coincidence for me. So I started doing research and found out about HAARP, H-A-A-R-P.
Oh, yes, HAARP. Let's talk about Tesla,
I
though.
realized that they really did know how to make earthquakes. And they do it by
Look at that. It's crazy.
a billion-watt microwave into the ionosphere, which is a part of the atmosphere that has a lot of energy in it. That pushes the ionosphere up into outer space, and then it rebounds.
What's a rebound
The way
off?
it rebounds can cause earthquakes. Just like an
What does it
opera
rebound
singer
off
can
of?
break a
If
glass
there's
by
no
singing at a
firmament,
certain level,
firmament,
or
like
by
shield above
dragging
us,
your fingernails on a blackboard, you feel a weird sensation.
what does it
They
rebound on?
adjust the vibration of the rock underneath your target site. They can do that.
Question 1. Well, start with HAARP's
Originally
innovator
approached me in 1984
and go from there.
to find a use for the natural gas on the North Slope of Alaska, which they could not sell. To give you a feel for how much gas they asked me to find an application for, it was enough gas to produce all the electricity in the United States for a full year. I originated some ideas for military applications and unofficial civilian applications. Applications discussed in the patents included destroying missiles, communications control and disruption were included. There were some other ideas, both to possibly modify weather and finally to lift a portion of the upper atmosphere further out into space. I chose what's called a phased array antenna for the patents because it can be aimed. Picture holding your microwave oven in your hands with the door open. Then you can move it around and send those microwaves different directions. And for these applications where I wanted precise control of where the power was, I felt that was the best type of antenna to use. And that is the kind HAARP has built.
HAARP can paint designs in the sky, if you will. You know, it can take the beam and move it in any pattern that the scientist who's doing an experiment might want to do.
30 minutes before the earthquake in the epicenter. So the world today is being controlled by man and with machines that shouldn't exist, but they do
If
exist.
you beamed it for an hour and a half, that would equal the energy in a hydrogen bomb. After I had actually left the program in 1987, one of the last communications I had with ARCO indicated that there had been a contract awarded for ionospheric warfare studies.
And remember, a 1 billion-watt microwave. What does microwave do to water? It heats it up. Now imagine if you put 1 billion watts into a tropical storm. You could make it much bigger.
3 hurricanes, 3 of them at one time.
Now after the earthquakes hit Niigata, a member of the Inagawa crime family, which is based around the U.S. Yokosuka Air Base, and members of the Inagawa family...
We have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works.
This is something I said a long time ago.
Mark, it's Kevin Systrom on Instagram, it's all of these people. Understood this consciously, and we did it anyway. Consumer internet businesses are about exploiting psychology. And that is one where you want to fail fast because, people are unpredictable, and so we want to psychologically figure out how to manipulate you as fast as possible and then give you back that dopamine. We did that brilliantly at Facebook. Instagram has done it, WhatsApp has done it, Snapchat has done it, Twitter has done it. So there are great examples. WeChat is doing it. There are great exampple of failing fast is the right path to exploiting psychology of mass populations.
50% drop.
I feel tremendous guilt.
The amount of electric energy in the ionosphere above the
earthquake zone. In the back of our mind,
a 50% drop,
even though we think this whole line of there probably aren't any really bad unintended consequences. I think in the back, deep recesses of our minds, we kind of knew
Ironclad technology. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or accept portions of
this. I hear a
this.
warning about Facebook and what some believe it's doing to kids. The warning comes from 2 of the company's earliest executives. Carter Evans is following this.
We kind of knew something bad could happen.
Tubal Cain, the 8th and the 7th, Revelations.
Now says he has tremendous guilt about the social network he helped build.
We have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society.
I've never heard about Tubal Cain, but it is. There's a Tubal Cain. Tubal Cain. Past meets future. Ironing clean technology.
People need to hard break from some of these tools and the things that you rely on. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation,
so many symbologies today.
Mistruth, bad
The
actors
circle
can now
with the dot in the
manipulate
middle.
large swaths
Is that
of people
representative of Saturn? Tubal Cain?
He's not the only social media executive blowing the whistle. Former Facebook president Sean Parker recently said the initial goal was to get people hooked.
You're exploiting vulnerability in human psychology. The inventors, creators, understand.
Tubal Cain. Bal is
You're about to witness
The Foreign Office, November the 2nd, 1917. Dear Lord Rothschild,
people.
which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet.
Dear
Majesty's government view with favour the establishment of Palestine as a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavours to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing should be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Yours, Arthur Balfour.
This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. What you just heard was a reading of the Declaration of Balfour by Lord Jacob Rothschild in a very recent interview he just gave just a few months ago here in 2017, where he discussed his family's role in the formation of Israel as a nation. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how this agenda has been on the table not just for decades, but in fact for centuries. Now, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here today when I say that the Rothschilds are an incredibly wealthy, powerful, and secretive family, and they are consumed by an all-out lust for power and control. Behind the scenes, they have been manipulating our finances and our politics, and with the ability to issue currency that is created out of thin air and then loaned to governments at interest. It is through
single unified field connecting everything. Then, during the film, 1,000 audience minds from coast to coast will be connected in a groundbreaking experiment. Aftermind gamers witness live the first images ever captured of a mass mind collective. This is wrong.
I'm all kinds of wrong.
Don't just see a movie, be a part of scientific and cinematic history.
This is Nicholson 1968. Welcome to my new project, Cain, Tubal Cain. Gonna discuss a lot of good information in this video, connect some dots as always. Things that we're gonna discuss: John Dee, advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, Mind Gamers, a movie coming out in 2017, Enochian language, D-Wave, James Bond connection, of course Tubal Cain, and CERN. This video will show you with many different aspects that are in front of us where the secret societies, the Freemasons, Illuminati, Skull and Bones, where they are getting their information and where this technology is coming from on the face of this earth. It is not from the minds of men. It is minds from the fallen. So, without further ado, welcome to Nicholson 1968's Cain, Tubal Cain.
The name is Bond. James Bond.
Cain, Tubal Cain. Let me ask you something. How much proof do we really need? All this shit exists. You can watch YouTube all day long, read all the disasters happening in the world. They're showing a clip from a movie. No accident that the movie Angels and Demons is associated with CERN. That Tom Hanks actually is there at CERN. You know what I mean? Wow. Does anybody know what the difference between angels and demons are? Seriously. Weren't they all angels at one time? Really? Beware the greatest deception of all. Billions are being deceived. Yes, we are. As in the days of Noah. Do giants live among us? You guys think giants live among us? Magicians prove that the spirit world exists. We already know it exists. It's so easy to believe in that, in what they call the Gaia, or
this process that they managed to emerge on the very top of this pyramidal structure of power. But one thing I don't think very many people are aware of...
And people sending you texts like, I know I love seeing you naked and touching yourself. You're number one.
...document that can help substantiate that claim. What I'm holding right here in my hands
People
is an
are off
original
today.
document. This was printed on
I'm AMK at Scottish Radio, saying what you think are too afraid to say, guys. I don't understand
at a time
anymore.
when the press and the media was not as controlled as it is today. So researchers and journalists were able to put this kind of
A large
information out there.
hydrant.
And the info contained herein suggests that the Rothschilds purchased Jerusalem and they had big plans in store for that landmass. So I'm just going to pick up the camera here and we'll read this to you. All right, guys, so this is the paper in question. This is a Niles Weekly Register. And bear in mind, this was printed in 1829. Unbelievable that they were able to put this kind of information out there back then, but as we said, they weren't as controlled as we are today. So, let's have a look at what they had to say here. I'm going to very carefully open this up because, as I said, this is an original document from 1829. And here is the article. I'll read it to you now. Jerusalem. There is a report that the Rothschilds have purchased Jerusalem. We see nothing improbable that in the pecuniary distress of the Sultan, he should sell some part of his dominions to preserve the rest, or that the Rothschilds should purchase the ancient capital of their nation. They are wealthy beyond desire, perhaps even avarice, and so situated it is quite reasonable to suppose that they may seek something else to gratify their ambitions that shall produce most important effects. If secured in the possession, and which may be brought about by money, they might instantly, as it were, gather a large nation together, soon to become capable of defending itself and having a wonderful influence over the commerce and the conditions of the East, rendering Judea again the place of a deposit of the large portion of the wealth of the ancient world. To the Sultan, the contrary is of no great value, but in the hands of the Jews, directed by such men as the Rothschilds, what might it not become, and in a short period of time? The Sultan is in great difficulty. Baron Rothschild was proceeding to Constantinople, and a second rebuilding of the temple is not among some of the most strange things expected in these strange times by some of the Jews. So there you have it, folks. The Rothschilds purchased Jerusalem, and as has been confirmed in this recent interview, they also formed the nation.
Wow, is that crazy? MK Ultra.
The United Nations Security Secret Agent could only be the musical stylings of Victor Oladipo, who is the reigning two-time champion of the All-Star Weekend player talent show.
You are talented. I give you a little credit on that. A lot of credit. You're very talented. I mean, you're not
MK Ultra affecting our stars, our Hollywood people that are on TV all the time.
As a matter of fact,
you don't see any more people of the reptilian people anymore, huh?
New York. His was at the slam dunk contest. Yours was in Vegas. Yes. We had the show out there.
Got somebody with his mouth just there. It's funny because the greatest guy looks on TV is how I act every time.
I love to do karaoke. That's good, isn't it?
Every time.
You see those two mics back there?
You made up your own words.
You see those?
Wait, that was the words. Hey. In old New York?
Yeah. The long-awaited duet. Victor Oladipo, Charles Barkley, New York. New York.
Hey, yo, let me lead, bro. Let me lead. I got you.
Like when I watch TV, my mouth is open, like like stunned. I'm thunderstruck. Like I don't know what I'm watching, and I'm out there. I can't focus and can't keep track of anything. The drama of it is that we're playing God. we're ultimately fucking with people's heads, and we're messing with people's minds, and we're using frequencies to do so. Whether you believe it or not, there has been many studies. The CIA has released a lot of paperwork. You can go and do your research on it. You can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to believe me. I could be just some nutcase doing some podcast from her bedroom. Wait a minute. I so am doing that right now. I am in my bedroom, and I am a nutcase. And I am releasing a podcast, letting you guys know how I feel. MK Ultra is real, man. So real. Now let's get back over here to Toucan. You don't hear me worrying about the reptilians. They got that kind of on a pause.
Shoot here at this facility, because that's what's going on. Is they are trying to communicate with angels and demons, things that Solomon knew, things that have been in the past that were destroyed, and that they are trying to build back this technology and bring it back that was destroyed in the days of Noah of old. The other company I'm going to talk about now, and I'm going to play the quote,
D-Wave.
is D-Wave.
Jody Ross says it's like sitting next to the gods of old.
Their own words telling you again what they're trying to do.
Time says it promises to solve some of humanity's most complex problems. Jody Ross is Jody Ross.
Quantum computing. It's often, people have the misconception that it's some kind of newfangled supercomputer. It's decidedly not that. Quantum computers allow us to access hidden features of nature, new dimensions, and if we can access these sort of hidden dimensions at scale, we could have unimaginable computing power.
So there you have it. Two companies that are back.
All right, I want to clarify this. He says it's ultimately not a computer. Did you hear him? It's ultimately not a computer.
Dimensions, the hidden realms around us, things that are put in place
Ultimately, not a computer.
For safety, our safety, humanity's safety. Next, I'm going to play a clip that is a behind-the-scenes clip of
Jody
from the director himself, Ron Howard. And listen very carefully to what he says. And then I'm going to connect a dot to show you what they're attempting to do is nothing new. It has been tried many, many times. And I will connect the dots for you on that. Enjoy this clip. I'll be right back.
So we had a talk about
has been trying
aliens.
To understand on a literal basis so many aspects of our world, including the moment of creation.
Take your places, people.
Atlas and CMS.
Currently at CERN, particle physicists are conducting experiments hoping to recreate the Big Bang. They're hoping to understand how our universe came into being.
So you heard it from his own mouth, Ron Howard, the director. What CERN is attempting to do is to learn the universal language of creation. They're trying to back engineer how we were created and try to understand that. Instead of turning to a creator or a God, they believe in the Big Bang.
Now this guy is Jody Ross. Now he funded, he's from Vancouver, Canada. He funded the D-Wave computer, and he funded a new program called Kindred, which is the people that are writing the so-called programming for the D-Wave computer, which isn't a computer. You just heard him say it yourself. Isn't a computer itself, right? This will probably be the last, you guys, because it's probably running out of time for this broadcast, you know?
But before I do that, we had a little bit of interesting news today.
Super intelligent aliens are coming to Earth.
And I wanted to share it with you because I'm pretty proud of it. So Kindred was named to a list of MIT's smartest 50 companies. And this is a very prestigious list. It's very hard to make it. But the thing that was distressing about it is that they have this map that they show of where all these companies are from. And there wasn't a single company on the list that was also the only company from Canada that was on the list at that time. So I've been trying to build the tech community in Vancouver for 25 years. And I find it super depressing that it seems to be so hard to generate world-changing 0 to 1 thinking about what you want to do. Think bigger, because we don't think big enough around here. Okay, so my previous company was D-Wave. I'll just show you a couple things. We built what are still the world's only quantum computers that you can buy.
Which isn't really
And
computer.
The company D-Wave has been doing this. Thanks. I didn't really have much to do with it, but you know, because so this is one of them. This is one of the processors, and a lot of interesting things happened to me
CERN
over the years. I
D-Wave,
got sent
quantum,
pajamas,
key to the abyss.
a whole bunch of stuff. You know, there's lots of interesting things that happen when you build something like a quantum computer. But just as an aside, because I thought it was funny, one of the interesting things that's happened from the D-Wave story is there's this gigantic conspiracy that's arisen on the internet that goes like this. So D-Wave builds quantum computers. The way that they work, if you know this, how this works, is one of the interpretations is that you tap into these parallel universes and they do computations. Sounds really weird. But what's happened is this idea has been hijacked to describe something called the Mandela effect, which is this thing.
Okay, now let's stop. He just said it 5 seconds ago that they're tapping into, right? Into ultimate dimensions. It's not really a computer, it is a dimensional computer, which they're tapping into resources to get ultimate ideals and crap from other dimensions, not from this dimension. Okay, there you go. This is Jody Ross, Kindred, and D-Wave.
The past changes. So think about something you know to be true from the past.
this is what I want to say on this
And then
Kindred thing
imagine
too. The Kindred thing is actually caused by a black hole that CERN created and blew up the first dimension. They blew it up. Say it with me, they blew up the first dimension. They blew it up real big and shot us into 80,000 light years into the middle of the Milky Way. When we used to be on the Saturn arm. You guys, I don't want you guys to go, this bitch is off. You know, I really don't. I want you to go, let's go research what she's saying, okay? This guy's going to tell you that the Mandela effect is really something else. It's what you don't believe, and you go to look it up, and it's not on there. Like, Luke, I am your father. Luke, I'm your father.
Went out on the internet, and you can't find it at all. It's not there. It doesn't match with your experience. So these people think that D-Wave is responsible, and CERN. And, of course, the quantum key to the abyss factors into it.
Did you hear him? He said, and CERN. He whispered, and CERN. It is and CERN. It isn't just D-Wave. It's CERN and D-Wave. More like it.
Oh, I'm not exactly sure how. Okay, so that's just D-Wave.
When
I did
human
that for
level
about
at
15
first
years.
created,
It was a lot of
25%
fun.
chance,
Big science
2030,
project.
50
It
chance,
turned into a commercial
2040,
entity.
certainly significant chance.
That was a warm-up
They didn't
for
expect in
Kindred.
lifetimes.
So Kindred is much, much, much more ambitious than D-Wave. And what Kindred is trying to do is build real AI. So what you've heard about AI is not what we mean by AI. What we mean by AI is a software system that can do literally anything that a human can do. Literally anything. And
it doesn't mean literally anything. It means they're going to import demon spirits and put them into synthetic human bodies, and they will do anything they want to do.
Task to do better than them. So imagine there was the mental Olympics of the 100-meter dash, and Usain Bolt is the fastest person. Now imagine that's some kind of a mental thing, like writing a novel or writing whatever. Imagine now that the thing is so much faster than Usain Bolt, like, for example, it's a spaceship. Yeah? It's still doing the same thing, but it's doing it so much better because we're limited, because we're people. So what Kindred is trying to do is solve this problem. How do you build machines that are better than people at everything? Now, there's a mental block that we have here when we think about this. Because when you think about that, one of your questions might be, for example, what are the applications of this? So imagine this. Imagine for $10, let's say, I could build a machine, like a little robot that had fingers and
basically no
and
human power. Let's go on.
In the path that humans have taken from when we emerged from what you read on the news, you know, CNN, BuzzFeed, whatever, they're all kind of the same nowadays. Think about how unimportant that thing is that you're reading if this is true. Yeah? So what does this have to do with aliens? So Sam Harris, who I quite admire, is very interesting
Imagine we
guy,
received a message from an alien
was
civilization
reciting this
which
parable
read, "People of
at a TED
Earth,
Talk that
we
he's given.
arrived
And it goes something
50
like this.
years."
So, I'm the President of the United States. So I received this message from the heavens. So my microwave dish, my SETI dish, finally captures something. And what it says is, in 50 years, or 13 years, we're coming to your planet. You gotta be ready. Now just imagine what would happen if that happened. A super intelligent alien race beamed down a message to all of us Earthlings saying,
"They're coming.
We're coming July 13th,
This guy
2030.
is running a
And boy, you
multi-million
better be
dollar
ready
business,
because the
you
mothership
guys.
is landing
Mothership is
the
landing.
White House or wherever you want to do. These things that we're building are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens. And
Yeah.
they're going to be, I'm sorry to say, way smarter than every single person.
Now, they're not even calling them AIs. They're calling the AIs aliens.
So this, of course, triggers a lot of alarm. One of the guys who talks about this is Elon.
Elon
who,
Musk,
says
with
things
artificial
like this.
intelligence.
Like, when you do this, beware. Because you think, just like the guy in the stories, that when you do this, you're going to put that little guy in a pentagram, and you're going to have your holy water.
So what they're trying to do with this kindred, basically, is they're trying to, get this, they're trying to create a demonologist computer-based program so they can control these aliens that they are putting in the AI.
But these words, demons, doesn't capture the essence of what's
Listen to
happening.
this.
I don't know if any of you are turn-of-the-century weird fiction fans, but there's this guy named H.P. Lovecraft, who's a very famous American weird fiction author. And he espoused a view which is called cosmicism. And the essence of cosmicism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there.
They're entities now.
But they're not good, they're not
They're not
evil.
aliens,
They
they're
just
entities.
don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these things
Wow.
that we're summoning into the world now are
And now
not
we're
demons.
summoning
They're
them.
not evil.
Now, first they
But
were
they're
AI,
more like the
then they became
Lovecraftian
aliens,
old ones.
and now we're
There
summoning
are
them.
entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want. So
Man.
this transition is
Can you
really,
believe
really
this?
massively important for our entire species to navigate. And going back to that thing that Sam Harris was saying, nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in the background while people bicker about politics and what's going to be in the healthcare plan in the U.S. And underneath it all is this rising tsunami.
Okay.
That if we're not
Rising tsunami of demons coming. Okay, so now that we've understood that we're playing God, we're summoning in demons, okay, and we're using the cover of Day and Night of calling them AIs. We're making synthetic meat suits, right, that you can now upload your consciousness into a computer and slap it into the back of the neck. You can have a bigger penis, bigger boobs, bigger arms, you know. By the way, what is up with Amy Schumacher? And what kind of comedian is she? Talking about her pussy smells like a petting zoo. I mean, come on, really? Is that funny shit? I mean, would you really want to fuck her? If it really smells like a petting zoo? I would think with all the money she's making, it would smell more like, I don't know, I would hope it smelled like fucking, you know, like Gucci or something. I don't fucking know, but come on. I mean, look at what we're dealing with. And as Jody Ross just said, and, you know, if all of this is going on in the background and we're so caught up what's going to be on our health plan and what's going to be on the politicians' plates today, man, are we really playing God? This is AMKS Goddess Radio, saying what you guys think and too afraid to say. I hope you guys have made yourself right. And just if you think it just can't get any worse. If you think God has forsaken you. He has not. I want to let you know that God hasn't. I'm not trying to be some holy roller. I'm cussing, mind you, okay? God says nothing sweet comes out of a foul mouth, but I'm going to let you know this. God loves you. God loves all the black sheep out there. Bah! And I'm one of them. Bah! You can evangelist this and evangelist that. Most of the evangelistic people out there today are probably already working for Satan. You know what I mean? If it's not some Pentecostal Baptist, slap it on the thigh, roll it home, speaking in tongues. I don't even trust those guys anymore, to tell you the truth. Because in the Bible it says, if you're speaking in tongues, 2 or more people should be able to understand you. Not just one person to understand you. If you can't understand what the person's saying, then they're not speaking in tongues because the Holy Ghost is moving them to speak in tongues. They're speaking in tongues because they want to speak in tongues. God is great, and we have been deceived. The greatest deception is to say that the devil doesn't exist. And now the greatest deception is that God doesn't exist. And he does. He does. And scientists say he doesn't because, you know what? They could make a tree. They can clone a lamb. They can grow an ear on a mouse. They can clone a chimpanzee now. They're cloning people today. They are cloning people today. They've been doing it since 1964. They are subliminally putting subliminal messages in your TV, in your frequencies, through your Wi-Fi, through the satellites, through the towers, through your phones, causing you to have cancers, to be sick. Only way to do it is to tune out. Not tune in anymore, tune out. Lord help us. Be with you folks, you know what I mean? And I pray for y'all, man. Find a safe place to be. And wear your aluminum hats, folks. It keeps the radiation out of your minds. Peace be with you. Goddess Radio, AMKS. Saying what you think, too afraid to say. Girl Heart America. Shoot, let's just change it. Girl Heart Universe. Stand up for something or you fall for everything. Peace.